Have you ever looked at your bank account and thought to yourself, wow, I am absolutely crushing this whole adulting thing? Yeah, probably not. For most of us, it feels like we're perpetually just one unexpected expense away from total disaster. You know the feeling, right? Your car makes a weird grinding noise, or your phone slips out of your hand and shatters on the sidewalk, and instantly that cold panic sets in. But based on some fascinating recent financial research, this explainer is going to show you why you are highly likely doing so much better than you actually think.
Seriously, what if your profoundly boring financial habits, the kind of stuff that is definitely not going to go viral online, are actually the ultimate sign that you're quietly building real lasting wealth? Let's dive into the data and see where you stand.
To really understand what financial success looks like, we have to start by setting a baseline with a pretty shocking dose of reality. Just consider the number 400. According to recent US studies, the average person could not handle a simple $400 emergency without having to borrow money from a friend or throw it on a high-interest credit card. Just think about the gravity of that for a second. A single flat tire, a modest medical bill, or a minor home repair would literally throw the majority of the population into total financial chaos.
And here's the crazy part. Those very same people driving to that $400 emergency, they might be sitting in a car that is actively devouring 20% of their monthly income. We live in a society that normalizes spending money we don't even have, to buy things we don't actually need, just to impress people we don't even really like. This completely distorted version of normal is exactly why recognizing your own actual financial progress is so incredibly difficult.
So, let's break down our first major theme: the wealth illusion versus real stability. Every day, we are constantly sold this incredibly fake idea of Instagram wealth. We're conditioned by social media to think that being wealthy means driving exotic cars, booking luxury vacations every other month, and seemingly having this unlimited, bottomless budget to buy whatever we want exactly when we want it. But real financial stability, well, it's profoundly more boring than that, but thankfully, it's also so much more achievable. True wealth isn't about the flash. It's all about the systems you have in place. It's about knowing your lights are going to stay on, your rent is getting paid, and you're never getting hit with a ridiculous late fee. It's the quiet, underlying confidence of having a predictable income rather than a flashy, stressful lifestyle.
Which brings us to level 1 of our framework: foundational stability.
These are the undeniable basics of having financial breathing room. First up, you pay your bills on time without any stress or drama. I know it sounds like the absolute bare minimum of being a functional adult, right? But if you consistently pay all your bills without having to juggle due dates or agonizing over which one to skip this month, you are already way ahead of the pack. Next, you're actually saving something, literally anything, on a regular basis. Whether it's $10 a week or $1,000 a month, it shows you're thinking way beyond just surviving the current month. You also have multiple ways to access money if you need it, like a small emergency fund or a backup savings account. And crucially, you can actually log into your bank app and check your balance without covering one eye and bracing for impact. Millions of people avoid their accounts completely because they're terrified of what they might find, basically operating on blind hope rather than actual facts. If you can log in calmly, you're absolutely winning.
Now, what's really interesting here is this whole concept of having leftover money. You only truly have a surplus after you've paid for your actual basic needs. Over time, a lot of people have convinced themselves that premium streaming bundles, daily takeout lattes, and subscription boxes are necessities. Let's be real, they aren't. True basic needs are simple: housing, utilities, food, transportation, and basic clothing. If you can cover those essentials and still have a surplus at the end of the month, even if it's literally just $50, you have crossed a massive financial threshold. That surplus is exactly what separates people who are barely surviving from people who actually have options.
Let's step it up to level 2, everyday financial peace.
Everyday peace manifests itself in some beautifully mundane ways. For example, you've completely stopped doing complex math in the grocery store checkout line. You aren't standing there watching the total climb, mentally calculating if your debit card is going to decline. You also probably have things in your home right now that you bought on sale but haven't even used yet, and you aren't panicking about the money you spent to stock up. Furthermore, everyday social expenses don't require a full-blown financial planning session. You can pitch in for a pizza on game night or just grab a quick coffee with a friend without getting that tight, anxious feeling in your chest. You can absorb minor setbacks like a random parking ticket without it derailing your entire month's budget. And most importantly, you actually go to sleep at night without your mind frantically racing through financial worst-case scenarios. Let's look at how this plays out in real life with what we call the unexpected problem test. Let's say your phone breaks.
If you are struggling financially, this is a major, life-altering crisis where you might just have to suffer without a phone for 3 weeks until your next payday. But if you have everyday financial peace, you simply review your options. You can calmly choose to get the screen repaired, buy a replacement, or maybe you even decide now is the time to upgrade. Having that financial breathing room means you have the luxury of choices when problems inevitably arise, rather than just passively enduring a crisis.
Now we reach the highest tier, level 3, the wealth mindset. The stark contrast between survival mode and financial maturity is where true wealth really begins to take shape. In survival mode, you're constantly making decisions based on panic and urgency. But when you reach financial maturity, you develop patience. You can wait for the right job offer to come along, or just wait to buy something until it actually goes on sale. In survival mode, you feel pressure to say yes to every single risky opportunity or grueling overtime shift simply because you're desperate. But in maturity, you are completely comfortable saying no to opportunities that don't align with your values or that drain your personal life. Finally, survival mode forces you to view money as just a stressful, immediate obligation to pay past due bills. Financial maturity allows you to view money as a powerful tool to create future possibilities for yourself.
But listen, one of the absolute biggest threats to maintaining this wealth mindset is something called lifestyle inflation. This is the dangerous habit of constantly upgrading your lifestyle and spending more money every single time your income increases. When you get a year-end bonus or a nice bump in salary, if your very first instinct isn't to immediately browse online for a fancier apartment or go car shopping, you are winning. Resisting that urge to inflate your lifestyle is a massive predictor of long-term success. People who automatically increase their spending to perfectly match their new income will always feel broke, no matter how much they actually make. Keeping your lifestyle steady while your income grows creates an ever-widening gap, and that gap right there is the bedrock foundation of real wealth.
This leads us directly to a counterintuitive but highly sophisticated trait, selective cheapness. This is your willingness to spend money on what genuinely matters to you while being ruthlessly frugal about the things that don't. It means you will happily buy that expensive artisan coffee because it genuinely brings you daily joy, but you completely refuse to pay for a bloated, expensive cable package because you know for a fact you don't use it. You aren't just universally cheap, and you certainly aren't trying to buy the most expensive version of everything either. You just understand the profound difference between price and value, and you selectively allocate your resources based entirely on your actual personal priorities.
When you are truly doing well, you'll notice a few advanced mindset indicators. For starters, money is no longer your main topic of conversation. You don't have to constantly make self-deprecating jokes to your friends about being broke. You are actively planning for goals way beyond immediate survival, like maybe a future vacation or a big career change. You completely ignore those flashy get-rich-quick schemes because you're entirely focused on proven, steady methods. You make your decisions based on reality, not paralyzed by the fear of some undefined future catastrophe. And ultimately, you have stopped comparing your messy, behind-the-scenes reality to the heavily filtered, perfectly curated highlight reels of your coworkers and friends.
Which brings us to our final takeaway, the quiet wealth reality.
This quote from our source material perfectly captures the entire essence of what we have been talking about today. Your finances just work in the background of your life like a well-functioning dishwasher that you only notice when it breaks. Think about it. If your financial life feels boring, routine, and mostly unnoticeable day to day, you haven't failed. You've actually won. The peace of mind is the prize. So take a close look at your own habits today and ask